What's good, YouTube? We back in with another video. So look, today I'm gonna switch it up, switch the content up a little bit. I just stuttered, but just ignore it. So today, I got a video about new Rockstar. So if you didn't know, I am a huge MCU, Marvel, well, anything Marvel, I love it. Comics, cartoons, movies, games, especially games. So I'm like, I might as well just see how this video do and upload something that I want to do. So this video is called returned how Steve Rogers returns in Avengers Doomsday. So I think he's either going to return as Nomad, a comic accurate Nomad, or he's going to return as Captain Hydra. Well, a Captain America when he was with Hydra. And I really have no, explanation for it. I just feel like it's between them two. Because them the only two main ones that I know about without getting like real deep into the comments. Or he might return just as Captain America from a different universe. But for me, I feel like he's going to return as Nomad or Captain Hydra. So let's get in the video and see what Eric Voss is talking about.
Rockstars, I'm Eric Voss, and Avengers Doomsday is confirmed to include Chris Evans in this lineup. According to The Wrap, in a growing cast that will include Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, Tom Holland as Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four from Fantastic Four First Steps, and the Thunderbolts. Chris Evans hasn't yet been confirmed to be playing Steve Rogers, but just the fact that he's coming back at all really narrows the possibilities for what the Russo brothers have in mind as they gear up to begin production for this film in a few months. I'm going to break down everything we know about Avengers Doomsday, how it will connect to Fantastic Four First Steps, and what role exactly Chris Evans will be playing, and how this might actually resolve the biggest unanswered question from Avengers Endgame. And if you want to support New Rockstars as we try to cover all of this big Marvel news, we now have a channel membership. We are starting small when it comes to perks, but if you are able to and want to show off some custom emotes in the comments, this is just a really great way to help us keep making these kind of videos. So thank you so much. Okay, when Avengers Doomsday was announced last summer,
you should do the same thing for me. I have channel memberships. I think the lowest one is like 99 cents up to like $4.99, $5.99, one of them, which is the highest one. You get what's the name of it? You get like an icon by your name, custom icon. It's all Naruto based, I'm a huge Naruto fan. But yeah, you should if you want to. I ain't really forcing you, but like if you want to support a YouTube creator, you should do that.
Feige confirmed that along with Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, both the Fantastic Four lineup from First Steps and the cast of the Thunderbolts would return in Avengers Doomsday. Then, over the months, some other news drops came out, like Benedict Cumberbatch had already indicated the plan was for him to return for the 5th Avengers film in a Netflix retrospective video from last June.
I'm very much looking forward to Avengers next year, which is cooking up a storm.
But that version of Avengers 5 was when it was still, as far as Cumberbatch knew when he recorded that, a movie being directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. So we weren't as sure when a month later Feige announced it was a new project with the Russo brothers and Stephen McFeely writing it. But in the past week, Benedict Cumberbatch confirmed that he is still part of Avengers Doomsday.
Yes, sir.
Very much looking forward to working with Robert Downey Jr., telling Japanese news outlet TV Groove this: I'm really excited not only to work with the Russo brothers again, but to have Robert Downey Jr. returning as Dr. Doom. I think there's going to be some really cool developments ahead.
Nah, facts. Now, we do need Doctor Strange, bro. If they are actually going off, well, they are going off 2015 Secret Wars. So, with that, they should do like a fight with Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange go up against each other. Doctor Strange somehow loses. Well, not somehow, because Doctor Doom is like, he's tough. But like, Doctor Strange lose. he become his little henchman or whatever, like he is in the comics, and do it from there. And then Doctor Strange slowly becomes evil over time into Secret Wars, and then he somehow dies. But I could see that. I would love to see Doctor Strange come back in Avengers 5.
Tom Holland's return as Spider-Man was confirmed by
the GOAT, bro. What do I have to say about the GOAT, bro? It's not like I'm glazing. It's because I am. I love Spider-Man. As you can see from my YouTube profile pic. This nigga's the GOAT here, bro.
The Hollywood Reporter in October, who were discussing Holland's busy 2025 shooting schedule with Spider-Man 4, Avengers Doomsday, and Christopher Nolan's next film. Then this week, The Wrap exclusively reported that Chris Evans is returning for Avengers Doomsday, writing, quote, Evans will be involved in some capacity, but the extent and the exact nature of his role is unknown. And when Deadline reported on this story, they included the additional detail that their own sources are relaying that Anthony Mackie will also return for Avengers Doomsday as the current Captain America of the MCU, Sam Wilson, which they reported makes it less likely that Evans could be back as the primary Captain America. Not so fast, Deadline. I think we have a possible explanation here. But let's run through the options. Chris Evans probably is not going to return as Johnny Storm from the 2005-2007 Fantastic Four movies, as we just saw that cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine, and that death seemed pretty definitive. Chris Evans is presumably returning for a role beyond his elderly form from the end of Avengers Endgame, which remains technically his current status in the present day MCU. And the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Joaquin Torres floated some conspiracy theories that Steve Rogers is on the moon, and maybe he and Sam Wilson might revisit that subject in Captain America Brave New World. Actually, a recent Microsoft commercial with footage from Brave New World shows that Joaquin has a copy of Scott Lang's book, Look Out for the Little Guy, telling us that this Falcon is eager to know more about the history of the Infinity Saga. But I think it's possible that we get to see Chris Evans in this old man makeup again. I just think there's going to be a lot more to his role, because this return of Chris Evans in an Avengers movie directed by the Russos and written by Stephen McFeely brings up a debate over the exact logic of the ending of Avengers Endgame. How exactly did elderly Steve Rogers end up on that bench after he went back in time to return the Infinity Stones? According to the Russos, they adhere to the...
Still don't understand that to this day. I just go with the flow at this point. Okay, you came back somehow. Okay, I ain't finna think too deep to it. Like, Russo, and then it was by these niggas. How you leave that unanswered? Or we could have. I mean, we don't really need it, because he's back. But like, it'd have been fun seeing him go back in time to place all the stones back. Even though it's gonna take up most of the, end credit or whatever. I mean, not end credit, but like the end of the movie. But like, you could have made like a spinoff show and be like, this is how Steve Rogers placed every stone back. I really want to see him. Wanted to see how he put back the Soul Stone from, I think it was Vormir. I need to know how that happened. Because since that's gone, that means... No, it doesn't. But I wanted to see him interact with Red Skull again. That would have been cool.
The film's internal logic, in which significant changes to the past create branch histories in the multiverse, and that this version of Steve lived out his life with Peggy Carter from the 1940s onward in an alternate timeline, and then at some point in the future of that timeline, he traveled back to the 616 universe to give the shield to Sam. It would mean that this old man knows someone who knows how to travel through multiversal portals. I know, he seems pretty old to have just figured out that journey himself, but who knows what life he lived and who his friends could have been. Then again, according to the screenwriters of Avengers Endgame, Stephen McFeely, and his co-writer Christopher Marcus, that's not what happened. They say that their intention was that when Steve Rogers went back to Peggy in the 1940s, he lived out his life within the 616 MCU in the background of that history we've known, just, I suppose, keeping a low profile. And then, after the dust settled, after the Battle of Earth in Avengers Endgame, he showed up to give the shield to Sam Wilson. So, we have one version of the film's logic that stays true to its own rules about branch timelines, but suggests that there is some alternate branch universe out there in in which Steve Rogers, Captain America, was alive in the 1950s and 60s and beyond, who went to free Bucky from Hydra, and then at some point in the future, with that alternate history, he used some multiversal technology to travel back to the 616 universe just to give that universe's Sam Wilson a shield and make him Cap. That seems like a lot for a whole different life that you left ages in the past, unless there was some specific reason why we'll talk about in a second. But we have this other version of Endgame's logic that suggests that for the entire MCU we had been watching, there was some old man who knew about all the bad things that would be happening in this history and just let it all happen. And that's why I have always sided with the Russos on this, even if my personal preference in general for time travel storytelling is closer to Marcus and McFeely's explanation, which seems somewhere between like Back to the Future bucket approach and like Prisoner of Azkaban, Interstellar, Lost approach that implies changes to the past rewrite history to be the way it has always been to begin with. But I think this whole messy conflict might explain what the Russos and McFeely have in mind with Avengers Doomsday and with Chris Evans' involvement with it. Maybe even why it's just McFeely coming back to write Doomsday and not Marcus as well. I admit I am really speculating when it comes to why Marvel contracted one writer to do the latest draft on the script and not both of them. It's probably just a case that these two very successful screenwriters after Avengers Endgame took their money and went on very different paths in their careers. And all respect goes to them for doing that. But I think for Avengers Doomsday to be a true sequel to Avengers Endgame, starting with the unanswered questions around Steve Rogers is exactly where you need to start and exactly how you connect the events of Endgame to the broader multiverse saga. I don't know if you've ever tried doing anything without energy, but it doesn't work. Time oozes, but one pocket for it to prove how plant extra 2 episode of 10% off Rogers' journey through. Now, to make it clear, Marvel Studios has already indicated that they are very interested in Steve Rogers' journey through time from the events of Infinity War and Endgame from a season 2 episode of What If. In the 1602 episode, we saw another.
But I ain't gonna lie, I doubt they even bring it up again. And if they do, it's gonna be like a real small part of the story. I don't know. I just don't see it happening. Because, I mean, how long ago was that? Was that like 5, 6 years ago? 5 years ago? I mean, we have waited longer for answers. So I can't even speak, bro.
Branch timeline in which Steve had cracked the time stone on Thanos' gauntlet, altering the time stream. It had all of us asking a lot of questions again about Cap's return journey with the Infinity Stones. How exactly he placed all of them back to where they were in history. How he was able to return the Soul Stone on Vormir. And what his life really looks like with Peggy. The life that Sam asked about, and Steve responded cryptically,
No, I don't think I will.
So, viewer, here's my theory. I think Avengers Doomsday will be a Doctor Doom-centered story that sets up a conflict between at least 2 alternate Earths in the multiverse. The 616 MCU, as we've known it, and another ideal Marvel universe with an equally or even more attractive lineup of heroes. This alternate universe could be the universe of the Fantastic Four in First Steps. It could be that undetermined X-Men universe that Monica Rambeau ended up in the post-credit scene of the Marvels. Or hey, maybe even those could be like the same universe. I think Avengers Doomsday will, in part, answer the question of what happened to Steve Rogers after Endgame, or really in between those final scenes of Endgame. With the Russo brothers and McFeely returning, I think the Russos will want to firmly settle the argument and explore Steve's life in an alternate Marvel universe, a universe where the 20th century would play out differently with the Captain America in it, as opposed to being an ice for all of it. Think about it. Rather than spending the 50s and 60s in Arctic ice, missing out on the Cold War and the space race, Steve Rogers would be there for all of it. We could actually end up in an alternate Marvel universe where there is a Captain America Steve Rogers active in 1960s New York, along with the Fantastic Four and a Spider-Man and the X-Men as they were in the Marvel Comics Silver Age. I think Marvel Studios wants to introduce, with Fantastic Four First Steps, an alternate hypothetical of the way the MCU could have looked if Marvel had the legal rights to everything. A Silver Age Marvel universe set in the 60s with all the trappings of a proper Marvel New York. And in this universe, many of the familiar faces we knew from the 616 MCU will, due to the randomness of quantum mechanics, return in this universe, but with different names and identities. In this universe, because Victor Von Doom looks like Steve's longtime frenemy of Tony Stark, that might even create a unique relationship with this Steve after he had gone through the events of the Infinity Saga. So, according to this theory, Chris Evans is returning to play Captain America, the Captain America Steve Rogers from the Marvel Studios films from 2011 to 2019, just following him on that alternate history after he got that last dance with Peggy, where he might meet the Fantastic Four and an alternate Doctor Doom. And when that universe faces an incursion crisis with the 616 616 universe, our Captain America, Sam Wilson, and Doctor Strange and Peter Parker and the Thunderbolts will encounter not just the familiar face of Doctor Doom, but literally the same Steve Rogers who left them after the Battle of Earth. And they will see him in perhaps an alternate 1960s Captain America suit with maybe even upgrades from his buddy Reed Richards, like a proto-adamantium shield. And it's going to be Steve's relationship with that multiverse expert, Reed Richards, that will explain how in the distant future, this old man traveled back through the multiverse to get back to Sam. And we're going to learn that that old man Steve gave Sam Wilson,
did he just say adamantium? Adam.
and perhaps an alternate 1960s Captain America suit with maybe even upgrades from his buddy Reed Richards, like a proto-adamantium shield. And it's going to be Steve's relationship with that multiverse expert, Reed Richards, that will explain how in the distant future, this old man traveled back through the multiverse to get back to Sam. And we're going to learn that that old man Steve gave Sam Wilson that shield to give the 616 MCU a fighting chance in an incursion conflict that Steve knew would be coming. And so it wasn't just to keep Peggy close to the vest when he played coy with Sam in Endgame. He was really sparing us some spoilers for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars when he said this.
You want to tell me about her?
No. No, I don't think I will.
Now, you may have noticed I've been wearing this awesome Winter Soldier shirt. You can get one of these at nerdriot.shop. It's a great way to support new rock stars and to get that special nerd in your life, a great holiday gift option. Please comment down below with your thoughts. Follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all 3 channels of the New Rock Stars Network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. And if you really want to support what we do here, hit that join button right by the subscribe button to support us with a membership. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
That was a good video. Not gonna lie. Shout out, I said nerd. Shout out New Rockstar. Shout out Evie. Yeah, I don't really see. I mean, that's the most likely thing that's gonna happen. But like, for me, we already seen Captain America, and it'd be cool for him coming back to be Captain America. But like, since I seen him in, Deadpool, I just want to see him in like different roles. Not different roles, but like different characters of his. Like Captain Hydra, Nomad. Well, we already had Nomad in Endgame. Well, Winter Soldier to Endgame. But like, I want to see him, be someone different. But I would love, I would love to see all 3. Not all 3, but like one of them. I wouldn't be disappointed if it was either Captain America, Hydra, or Nomad. But like, Marvel. Just don't fuck up Secret Wars. I mean, don't fuck up Doomsday and Secret Wars for me. I know you're not. You finna cook. I already know. But, I just don't. I know. It's just, that's my baby. But yeah, man. I'm gonna end the video here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And comments, comments. I want to see if y'all really fuck with this, to be honest. Cause I do more videos like this if you want me to. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.
I got a bubble coat to match the keys. I gave my partners choppers tryna blitz. I got a bougie hoe that got a bitch. I got Call of Duty guns that got a switch. I sip a lot of syrup, I got a pistol. Bro strapped with a rod but don't know how to fish. I'm shining a lot of diamonds on my fist. I just spent a lot of dollars on my fit. Yeah, go get the check for my son and daughter. So every day I'm trying to get paid. We hit the streets and we flood. We just like Baby and Doug, how them young niggas get paid.